The Orbital ATK Antares rocket, topped with the Cygnus OA8 spacecraft, creates a beautiful water reflection in this pre-launch nighttime view across the inland waterways. Launch is targeted for November 11, 2017, at NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. Credit Ken Kremer NASA Wallops Flight Facility, VA. The Orbital ATK Antares rocket is all set for a breakfast-time blastoff from the Commonwealth of Virginia to the International Space Station for NASA with a Cygnus cargo freighter named in honor of Gene Cernan, the last man to walk on the moon. The Antares launch is targeted for 7:37 a.m. on Saturday, November 11, 2017, carrying the SS Gene Cernan resupply vessel that's loaded with nearly 4 tons of science and supplies for the 6-person crew serving on the station. Antares liftoff with the Cygnus spaceship, also known as OA8, will take place from Launch Pad 0A at NASA's Wallops Flight Facility located along the eastern shore of Virginia. The Orbital ATK Antares rocket, with the Cygnus OA8 spacecraft on board, is raised into the vertical position on Launch Pad 0A for planned launch on November 11, 2017, at NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia, in this nighttime view. Credit Ken Kremer. The rocket was integrated with the Cygnus OA8 supply ship this week and rolled out to the launch pad starting around at 1 a.m. Thursday morning, November 9. The Cygnus OA8 spacecraft is Orbital ATK's 8th contracted cargo resupply mission with NASA to the International Space Station under the Unmanned Commercial Resupply Services (CRS) program to stock the station with supplies on a continuing basis. The upgraded Antares rocket was erected into the vertical position and is now poised for liftoff early Saturday morning. Tens of millions of spectators could potentially witness a launch with their own eyeballs since NASA's Wallops Flight Facility is located within a short driving distance of the most heavily populated area of the United States along the eastern seaboard. Since Saturday's weather forecast is quite favorable at this time, this could be your chance to watch an exciting launch on a critical mission for NASA with your family or friends. If you are wondering whether to watch, consider that Antares launches are infrequent. The last Antares launch from Wallops took place a year ago on the 23rd of October 2016 for the OA5 cargo resupply mission to the ISS for NASA. If you can't watch the launch in person, you can always follow along via NASA's live coverage. Live launch coverage will begin at 7 a.m. Saturday on NASA television and the agency's website www.nasa.gov. The launch window opens at 7:37 a.m. The window runs for 5 minutes, extending to 7:42 a.m. The 14-story tall commercial Antares rocket will launch for only first time in the upgraded 230 configuration, powered by a pair of the new Russian-built RD-181 first-stage engines. The Cygnus spacecraft will deliver over 7,400 pounds of science and research, crew supplies and vehicle hardware to the orbital laboratory and its crew of 6 for investigations that will occur during expeditions 53 and 54. The SS Gene Cernan manifest includes equipment and sample for dozens of scientific investigations, including those that will study communication and navigation, microbiology, animal biology and plant biology. The ISS science program supports over 250 ongoing research investigations. Orbital ATK is proud to name the OA8 Cygnus cargo delivery spacecraft after former astronaut Gene Cernan, said Orbital ATK. As the last human to step foot on the moon, Cernan set records for both lunar surface extravehicular activities and longest time in lunar orbit, paving the way for future human space exploration. He died in January 2017. The Orbital ATK Cygnus spacecraft, named for Sen. John Glenn, one of NASA's original 7 astronauts, stands inside the Payload Hazardous Servicing Facility at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida behind a sign commemorating Glenn on March 9, 2017. It launched on April 18, 2017 on EULA Atlas V. Credit Ken Kremer. After a 2-day orbital chase, Cygnus will arrive at the station on Monday, November 13, said NASA. Expedition 53 flight engineers Paolo Nespoli of ESA European Space Agency and Randy Bresnik of NASA will use the space station's robotic arm to capture Cygnus at about 5:40 a.m. NASA TV coverage of rendezvous and capture will begin at 4:15 a.m. After Canadarm2 captures Cygnus, ground commands will be sent to guide the station's robotic arm as it rotates and attaches the spacecraft to the bottom of the station's Unity module. Coverage of installation will begin at 7 a.m. Cygnus will remain at the space station until December 4, when the spacecraft will depart the station and deploy several cubesats before its fiery re-entry into Earth's atmosphere as it disposes of several tons of trash. Under the Commercial Resupply Services (CRS) contract with NASA, Orbital ATK will deliver approximately 28,700 kilograms of cargo to the space station. OA8 is the eighth of these missions. Orbital ATK Cygnus OA8 mission patch. Credit Orbital ATK Watch for Ken's continuing Antares Cygnus mission and launch reporting from on-site at NASA's Wallops Flight Facility, VA during the launch campaign. Stay tuned here for Ken's continuing Earth and planetary science and human spaceflight news. Ken Kramer Antares, Apollo 17, Commercial Resupply Services CRS, Cygnus Cargo Vessel, Cygnus OA8, featured, Gene Cernan, International Space Station ISS, NASA TV, NASA Wallops, Orbital ATK CRS-8, SS Gene Cernan.